Our media madness roundup tonight. The Emmys were this weekend, and if you didn't turn into the snooze fest of celebrities whining about politics, well, you weren't alone. The preliminary ratings for the Emmys show that the ratings were at an all-time low, and who could be surprised? Instead of focusing on entertainment, award shows have devolved into celebrities airing their grievances against President Trump. And who wants to hear that? Take a look.
Dear friends, the next time the world's problems make you feel the blues, turn on any channel, well, except the news, 'cause troubles aren't so troubling when you see them in HD. The world's a little better on TV. So don't you worry about global warming or the Middle East. Walk on the bright side with the recently deceased.
With me now from the Daily Caller, Amber Athey. Amber, good to see you.
Good to see you too, Liz.
All right, Amber, let's start out with some things from the Emmys. And first of all, Handmaid's Tale won big, both for the movie and for the actors. But this was very interesting. So many people at the Emmys, and then of course online on Twitter, were acting like The Handmaid's Tale is a commentary on our modern society, a commentary on the Republican Party, a commentary on President Trump, supposedly, I guess, forcing women into servitude and to carry pregnancies that they don't want. Amber, my question is, where in America are women being forced to carry pregnancies they don't want?
Yeah, the whole admission here is just absurd. Obviously, women aren't forced to carry pregnancies. Women aren't forced to get pregnant in the first place unless they're raped. Women, enter into sex consensually. That leads to pregnancy, but people love to ignore that. Planned Parenthood sent out a tweet comparing America to The Handmaid's Tale, which I find hilarious considering a lot of Planned Parenthood's leaders and founders never speak out about the way women are treated in the Middle East under Islam, where women are beaten and raped if they talk to men other than their husbands and are covered from head to toe, literally showing only their eyes in society. But yes, America is the place where women are seriously oppressed.
Right, and there was some additional irony there that Elizabeth Moss is reportedly a Scientologist, and Leah Remini, of course, the actress who left Scientology, is now exposing the abuses. She says Scientology actually forces their members, some of their members, to undergo abortion. So it's just, the irony is overwhelming here. But let's go on. So also at the Emmys, Donald Glover, and we have a video of this, he wants to talk about the oppression of black people in America. And of course, he wants to bring President Trump into it. Take a look.
I want to thank Trump for making black people #1 on the most oppressed list.
All right, Amber, #1 on the most oppressed list, he says, the rich millionaire actor in the designer clothes said that he as a race is in the #1 most oppressed list. Where? How?
Yeah, and if you ask a liberal to tell you how they're oppressed, they can never really answer the question. And the fact that he's saying this as one of the most privileged people in the world is hilarious to me. But it's just a tacit admission that the Emmys are not about awarding the best talent or awarding the best art. It's about awarding whoever can make the best political statement, whoever can be the most against Trump. And that's exactly what we saw at the awards show the other night.
Right, and I would guess at this point, what is it, 10 months into Trump's presidency, what impact has he had on any of these people's lives at all? Literally none. If you turn off the news, then you don't hear about politics. None of the policies have taken effect that have actually impacted us in a great way, negatively or positively, yet. It's absolutely ridiculous. All right, we got to move on for our media roundup. This is Brooke Baldwin. Everyone saw the video. I don't want to show the video of her melting down on her guest, who said the word boobs on air. I mean, I don't find that particularly controversial. It might have been rude or ill-mannered of him to bring it up, but I actually thought it was a lot worse. I want to show you Brooke Baldwin's tweet here. This is how she responded on Twitter. She said, "That was, I just, ... It was one of those thought bubbles. Did he actually say that on my show? Note to men, this is never okay." Amber, I had a lot more problem with Brooke's response that she would she would basically punish all men as a gender for what one man said on her show.
Right, and liberals love to complain that women are stereotyped as oversensitive or being too emotional, and Brooke Baldwin just plays right into those stereotypes with her response. I watched the interview. I kind of laughed a little bit. It might have been a little inappropriate, but I definitely wouldn't have responded the way that Brooke Baldwin did, especially when you consider that Kathy Griffin was parading around in a bra on CNN not so long ago, and Brooke Baldwin thought that was hilarious, and Don Lemon was a drunken lush on New Year's Eve and got his ear pierced live on air, sitting right next to Brooke Baldwin. Apparently that wasn't an issue either. But of course, she's just trying to make herself a victim in order to get political points. And of course, it's working out for her because her tweet got tens of thousands of retweets. So she played this right into her own political narrative just to give herself a publicity boost.
Right, and at the same time, she kind of ruined the liberal or the feminist narrative that women aren't sensitive. Women can be treated just like men. Well, men had no problem with this, and she's the one who had a problem with it. All right, last thing. We got to get to this quickly. MSNBC's Joy Reid, she said in Vulture magazine that President Trump makes now the worst time to be a human. What is your reaction to this?
Oh, it's so absurd. She also claims that she's a student of history, and yet she apparently didn't think that, when there was slavery in the United States or when people literally lived in shacks weren't worse times in the United States than now. Liberals bring up slavery all the time, talking about reparations for African Americans, but they apparently conveniently forget about it when they want to claim that Trump is making America the worst time for a black person to be alive. It's just so absurd. It's like a self-parody.
It is. It's ridiculous. We as women, this has nothing to do with race. We have a right to vote. We have a right to work outside the home. We have a right to be as wealthy as we choose, to dress however we want, to say however we want. We're a free country, free people. I don't know how that makes right now the worst time to be a human. I certainly disagree with that. Amber, thanks for being on the show. I appreciate it.